Hey everybody, it's Alan, and I hope you are doing well. I've worked in and around the music industry and or music retail for well over 30 years, and I am regularly asked by people who get their first guitar what advice I would give them when it comes to learning how to play. I think I'd like to share that advice, that little bit of beginner advice with you all right now. So, whether you're getting your first guitar for Christmas or Hanukkah or a birthday or an anniversary, or just because you want to learn how to play, hopefully this little bit of advice can blossom a love for the instrument inside of you and help you enjoy playing guitar. Before we get started, I am not a guitar teacher. I am not a guitar instructor. I did not go to school for music theory or anything like that. I am very much a self taught guitar player who's just had a passion for the instrument pretty much my entire life. I absolutely recommend taking guitar lessons or learning from a music program in school, should they offer it. Even downloading instruction material from YouTube and the internet or through apps on your cell phone. But what I'm going to give you now is very, very fundamental, basic, pre Guitar 101 kind of advice. So, this is not for the experienced musician. This is not for the person who's been playing for 2 or 3 years and has a fundamental idea on how to play the instrument. This is for the pure, brand new, out of the box guitar player. Okay? First thing I always recommend is learning how to play these 4 guitar chords. Okay? These are basic open guitar chords, but these 4 chords are really, in my opinion, very special. First, you have the D chord, you have your C chord, you have the G chord, and you have the A minor. Once again, that is D, C, G, and A minor. Now, why do I recommend those 4 chords? Well, truth be told, they always create something musical. No matter what order you put them in, no matter whether you're playing 2 chords, 3 chords, or all 4 chords, in whatever order you play them in, they pretty much always come out to making something musical. In fact, there are so many classic rock, country, blues, and folk music songs within those 4 chords. Frankly, it's kind of scary. On top of that, the finger positionings and the transitions from one chord to another will improve your hand's dexterity as you practice the ability to move from one chord to another. You have several different kinds of fingerings. You have a wider fingering like on the G chord, you have a tighter fingering like on the D chord, and you have a pretty natural chord like the C chord. Okay? So whether you're going from the G to the D to the C and back to the G, your hand is constantly moving into a different position. Everything moves, okay? However, when you transition from the C chord to the A minor chord, you're really only moving one finger, your ring finger, from the C on the A string to the A on the G string. And that's the difference. So going back, working on those transitions is going to get your hand used to moving around on the neck. Granted, we're only playing within the first 3 or 4, frets on the guitar, and we're only working with the open notes, but trust me when I tell you, those 4 chords, because they make something musical no matter what order you put them into, will hopefully help you hear music while you're working on building up the ability to transition from chord to chord. What songs are in there? Well, I mean, just as an example, let's say we play G, C, A minor, and D, okay? I mean, that's Blues Traveler's Runaround. Let's just say we play G, C, and D. That's good lovin'. Okay. Let's just bounce between the G and the C. That's musical. Let's say we go from the G to the D to the C. Or from the G to the C to the A minor. Again, no matter what order you play those chords in, it's going to be something musical. Like I said, I've worked in the music industry a long time, and I've seen a lot of guitar instructors, and they start teaching you how to play scales and start talking about theory, and or they just teach you songs and they don't really tell you what that song is actually doing. And honestly, playing those single note things, I mean, it's good to learn and it's something you should learn, but it's kind of boring, unless you're playing, if you want to learn how to play classical music, you gotta learn your scales. You should learn your scales. But, you got to start with something foundational. And so before you even get into taking lessons, before you even go into school and start working in that school music program again, if they should be offering it, which sadly not as many schools offer anymore. These 4 chords should be foundational to helping you understand both how to transition from chord to chord while you're actually making something that sounds like a song. And for me, from the very beginning, learning how to play guitar should be fun. We should always have the fun aspect of it. So I also often recommend to parents who are getting their child their first guitar, make sure the kid has the opportunity to goof off. Okay. You want to study, you want to learn what you're actually doing, but you also want to just goof off. It has to be joyful. And, you might come across some songs or some sounds that you weren't really expecting. A guitar teacher, or a friend of mine, actually, I never really took a guitar lesson, but a friend of mine taught me this finger exercise, right? Taught it to me down here, right? And I practiced that finger exercise. It was actually more like, right? I practiced that for a long, long, long time. And only years later did I realize that if I put part of it together into different positions, I end up with... I'm like, oh my God, I've known how to play that Police song for years. I just didn't know that I knew how to play it. And those are kind of the magical moments that come with practicing and goofing off. He didn't teach me how to play the Police song. He taught me a finger pattern, which I discovered later on created that Police song. And hopefully, again, if you remember to just goof off and find notes that go together on the instrument, you can have as much fun as I've had for the last 4 decades. But again, from the very beginning, those 4 chords right there can take you a long way to building a passion for the instrument that hopefully can carry you through the rest of your life. Again, I do recommend taking lessons. I do recommend taking courses, but you can start with these 4 chords and be playing music within, an hour or 2. And that really, for me, is all it really took for me to sort of just gain the love for the instrument, which I had bubbling up inside of me right from a very young age. So I'm going to end this video. I don't want to make it too long. I just want it to be something very simple. Hopefully, again, it's a little bit of advice that can take you through the very beginnings of learning how to play the guitar. And I just hope you develop a passion for it as I did, and I know millions and millions of other people have as well. So with that said, thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment. I hope you all are well, and I wish you well. Take care.